Welcome to episode 3 of From the Floor to Fintech, one of the non-scripted episodes and one of the non-scripted podcasts that talks about everything to do with fintech, how to get into the fintech space, the non-traditional careers joining the fintech space, and without any hassle or bustle. Welcome back to episode 3, and this is your host for the most, Gado Mondi. I've been in the fintech space for the last 15 years, and I'm always at my favorite spot of shooting you the content, and this is always at the train station. How are you doing? Tell a friend, come and subscribe. We need to reach as many people as possible so that we can able to have a richer and a broader audience. So in this episode today, episode 3, being on a Friday, I think the most important thing is to look at it in terms of how has technology elevated countries and companies to move forward. A good example is I look at a small country in this world called Estonia. I don't know anybody who knows anything about Estonia. Capital city is called Tallinn, if I'm not wrong. Estonia is one of the fast forward countries that are actually enabling technology to leapfrog forward into the 24th or 21st century. And this I will say in the matter of 2 or 3 minutes. Number one, they make it easy for any company to get registered into the Estonian space. They also give you some tax incentive in terms of you paying lesser tax if you are in the fintech space. The government even goes ahead and gives you a boost in terms of funding. Some are even non-dilutive funding to support you into your growth in the future. A good example of these countries and companies that have actually come out of Estonia. One of the biggest ride-hailing startup, which really disrupted the way we take our taxis from the traditional black cab in the United Kingdom, where you just get to a black cab and they use a meter reading, or you get the traditional taxis company where you actually call a physical number and then you're getting booked into this taxi rating app. So this company is called Bolt. Most of you might have used their services. Most of you might have used the delivery services, or even you're actually earning an income as being one of the taxi drivers from Bolt and making it out of life. That is part of the company that has actually grown over and beyond the country itself and is now in more than, if I'm not wrong, maybe 50 plus countries from Europe, America, across into Africa and other emerging markets. They're actually disrupting the traditional taxi hailing services are actually occurring. Then the more important thing that I need to discuss about from this Bolt, the Uber of this world, they've actually been able to disrupt even the way we live, such that these words have now become, more of like vocabulary and verbs into a world where we have to, I'll Uber you, I will Bolt you, into the way we actually live and make it easy. So the reason I'm putting up this is because of how fintech has spearheaded or enabled growth of countries, growth of ideas, disrupted market into what we are seeing today. Because I can imagine 15, 10 or 20 years ago, if you have to know a cab, it has to be the yellow line cab, right? Or the black cabs in the United Kingdom. Or some other interesting green cabs, whatever the states you're in, or maybe yellow one, or maybe white one, wherever you are. But they've actually brought in different kind of hailing services, like we call them motorbikes. Some are electric, some are actually motorized. Then we also have VIP, some are executive, and some are not. So those are the part of the things that Bolt has actually been able to give. More interesting, why I'm talking about Estonia also, is this another company called Argen. Argen is a fintech technology company that actually supports larger and broader payment platform to enable bigger merchants such as Uber themselves, the Bolt of this world, to be able to collect and get paid online via commerce. Then they also support other bigger merchants like Facebook, Instagram, and others in terms of collections of their fund, especially when advertising payment are being made on the platform. They go through these partners. So those are the interesting things you can see. A small country in Europe called Estonia has actually been able to grow a whole perspective of fintech, a whole perspective and dynamic of what we call an ecosystem. And technology is their biggest cash cow, or the biggest cash crop that actually has enabled Estonia to grow without having any other form of indigenous or grown commodity. They've actually commoditized technology into part of their largest foreign earning currencies in this time. So you can see exactly how fintech or how technology can actually transform not only a nation, but it can also transform how we think, how we behave, and even how we do our day-to-day activity. And as I always say, you don't have to struggle on how to get into the fintech space. The fintech space can be entered into various routes. You don't have to be a techie. You can come in via any channel, even being a founder. And I'm proud to say that I'm open to any discussion, any founder out there, any SDR, any account manager, any product lead who are out to look for information on how they can get into the fintech space. Let's have a discussion, share my channel, let's talk in terms of how can this be ahead and give you that growth you're looking out for to grow into the fintech space. And this is the one and only, the God of Monday, the OG of fintech, the fintech UK guy, the fintech Africa guy, who can give you all the dynamic and the perspective of how payments and emerging transactions are happening from the APAC region, EMEA region, emerging and other Middle Eastern region. Reach out to me, share my channel, subscribe, and see you in episode 4. As I always say, from the floor to fintech. See you on episode 4.